Well, let's go on. The last thing on what we need to cover here, and this is really critical stuff. Now that we have no genders, there are a lot of TV shows and songs that have to be banned. So we'll start with TV shows. The first one I thought about was That Girl.
That Girl. Oh, that's right. You can't do that.
Yeah.
What would you call her then? That
non-binary person? I don't know.
No. Good question.
And
I don't know. What else did you come up with?
Well, all the superheroes: Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, even the two shows that went side by side, the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. All those. Can you? Do you have any on your list?
I can't. I couldn't. I was going through stuff, but I thought you would have so many. I mean, I can't. I was thinking back to the 70s and you know, gosh, there's so many. There's just so many things that you couldn't do anymore. You couldn't say anymore.
I'm quite surprised that there's one of the TV networks now showing Charlie's Angels. How in the world do they get away with that? They talk about a politically incorrect show, particularly in the first couple of seasons. At the end of every episode, Charlie would be making some type of male chauvinist remark. It's like
everything. I mean, it's just. I was thinking about all the shows I did. You know, you can't. Dukes of Hazzard, can't do that. They were good old boys down and had the Confederate flag on the top of the General Lee, and they had all those girls in shorts and tight jeans, and you know, I mean, you can't do that anymore. There's no way.
Of course, the Andy Griffith Show, it's all white people. You can't have that.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
They will eventually go after that show. I figure the only reason they're not right now is because Ron Howard's still living and he's an ultra-liberal. I think once all the cast are gone, I think at some point that show will be attacked. I hate to say it, but it will be.
Absolutely. They'll try to get rid of that for sure. Yeah.
Well, how about songs? Can you think of some good songs that are now politically incorrect? The first one I thought about is the Spencer Davis group, I'm a Man. Oh, my goodness. You talk about...
How about the Helen Reddy song when she was, I'm a woman, hear me roar?
Yeah. Well, that one's gone. That one's gone.
Can't do that.
Or
no such thing as women anymore.
Yep. Stand by Your Man, Tammy
Stand by Your Man,
Wynette.
can't do that.
Now, here's a double one. This is a double whammy. When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge.
Oh, that one's got to go. That one's got to go.
Or Gladys Knight's and the Pips, If I Were Your Woman.
That's right. You can't do that because you can't belong to anybody and you can't be attached to anybody.
Let's see. Scrolling down the list here. The Girl from Ipanema.
Oh, think of the words in that. Tall and tan and young and lovely.
That's right.
Right?
But
can't do that. Can't say that.
That's going to offend somebody.
No. And think of all the songs back in the 50s with the I can't remember which one it was. What was the one where the guy was talking about the Sweet 16 girl and
Happy Birthday, Sweet 16.
Wake up, little Susie.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yep. Yeah, Happy Birthday, Sweet 16. That would be Calendar Girl by Neil Sedaka, one of your favorites. I'm sorry.
That's right.
That was just going to have to go. Oh, the Beach Boys, When I Grow Up to Be a Man.
Can't do it.
Secret Agent Man. I love that song.
Too. That was a great song.
Mr. Tambourine Man. And one of my Paul McCartney favorites, Listen to What the Man Says.
No, can't get away with that.
Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress. Oh, that's just, man.
Sexist. Nope, can't do it.
And,
or even talking about, beautiful women or pretty woman.
Yes.
How would you ever get away with that? Don't you call me pretty?
How about You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin? That one's, out the door. Even one of, now this one is really politically incorrect nowadays. Ric Flair, one of his favorite sayings. To be the man, you've got to beat the man. That's just got to go now too.
They would find another meaning in there, and it would be racist.
That's right.
It would.
That is right. Oh my goodness, all the womanizing he did on television and stuff. That would be people would have a conniption fit. Actually, it was funny because Peacock just obtained all the rights to all the WWE stuff, which includes the old NWA and all that stuff, and they are systematically going through by what they determine is racist and taking it out. And so that's going to be interesting to see when you go to watch an old pay-per-view and a match is gone because it's considered racist.
Well, it's like, how long is it going to last? Like 32 seconds or something?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just like the movies. They cut. I can't remember what station used to play. They used to play Blazing Saddles, and they took all of the politically incorrect things out of it. They were bleeped out because the first time I saw it, I went, "Wait, what? Wait, I know what they're saying there. Wait."
Yeah.
And I mean, now you can catch it. I don't know why that movie is still allowed to air. I really don't. It's like, I think it's the funniest movie I've ever seen. I really do. I just laugh my head off. So,
oh my goodness. Well, how do the Smothers Brothers still get played? I mean, they were so, of course, they're from the left.
Man,
they were.
I know.
And it's just some of the stuff back then. Even most of the comedians now, even Seinfeld says, I can't even go on a college campus and do a stand-up anymore because people are so easily offended by what I say. And even a couple weeks ago, Jay Leno came out and apologized for some Asian jokes he made 20 years ago.
Oh, God, please. Really? That's crazy. Well, what about Don Rickles? Remember Don Rickles?
Yeah.
Good grief. They would run him out on a rail.
Yeah. I have to admit, I never was that keen on him. I like good comedy that ribs people, but insult comics, he took that to like the nth level. And, I mean, sometimes it was okay, but I never understood it.
He did. I mean, I was working in Las Vegas when I was 18, and he would play the lounges and stuff. But the guys back then, Buddy Hackett and Shecky Green and all these guys, I mean, even Sinatra doing his show with the Rat Pack and Sammy Davis Jr., they made racial jokes all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And people were just not offended. They were just, they would just laugh and not take it seriously. Nobody took it seriously.
Right, and you can't make fun of anybody anymore. And I don't mind if people poke fun at me. I have certain idiosyncrasies about myself. Everybody does. Even certain races or genders do. And I have no problem with that. If they, people make fun of certain way men handle stuff, and it's funny. It's just like certain ways that women handle stuff are funny.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
We have to laugh at ourselves. We do.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at some things and you go, that's just plain ridiculous, but it's hilarious.
Right.
But yet they're taking that away. There's nothing funny anymore. Is there? Do you see anybody humor in anything anymore?
Not much. I mean, liberals, they just don't have a sense of humor. And they, everything is, everybody's so offended by something, there's no time to laugh and be funny anymore. I mean, some of the stuff they did.
Archie Bunker. Remember Archie Bunker?
Oh, yeah.
And All in the Family and Maude and Red Fox.
Oh, God, Red Fox.
Show. I mean, that show was hilarious. And the Jeffersons was hilarious. They had the white guy on the Jeffersons, and he was always made fun of. But it was funny.
Yeah. And George,
now, you just can't do anything. You just can't.
I love Sanford and Son. That is one of the funniest shows. Red Fox is hilarious.
And the hysterical. I mean, you talk about stereotypes.
Yeah.
There is a black show that had every stereotype. Remember the ant that used to come in? And he'd always grab his heart and go, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Because this woman was your typical church lady in the hat, and
yep.
I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
But they made fun of themselves. So did the show In Living Color. Remember that?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, my favorite. I love the character of Grady. I forget who played that. He was hilarious.
Yes,
that was my favorite character.
I remember.
And just the stuff. Fred Sanford. He was always, the season that they had the guy next door from Puerto Rico, and it was obvious that the character of Fred Sanford was prejudiced against Puerto Ricans, and that brought it out every episode. And so, yeah, it was just, you couldn't do anything like that anymore. And yeah, somebody put a post the other day, had a picture of Red Fox side by side with Archie Bunker, and said if people ever watched this today, they would just go absolutely crazy. They couldn't handle it.
So, no, they couldn't handle it. They couldn't. And they would make sure that it was erased and taken down and never seen again.
Yeah.
And that is terrible. That's a terrible precedent to set, because what kind of world are we going to live in? I don't want to live in the Marxist world. I don't.
Right. Well, people are going to find out very soon what it's like to live there, and I think a lot of the people on the left who thought it was going to be utopia are going to be really surprised that it's not what they thought it was.
No.
It never works. Utopia never works. I mean, I know it's a fictional show, but they even tried that a couple times on Star Trek and proved that a utopian world just leads to death. They had the episode where Kirk went to the planet and they were all androids. You didn't know that to start out with, but this guy named Roger Corby was dying, so he made an android copy of himself, and they kept saying how utopian it was, and then by the end of the episodes, the robots were killing each other with less feelings than humans would. Mm-hmm. And so, it's not going to be a pleasant world, and unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say, but the media is going to find out too that if we were ever taken over by an outside force, they would be the first ones to go. They don't know that either.
Of course they would. Of course they would. And they don't see it.
No.
They don't see it. I think they're all just, they want to keep their position of power in what they're doing. They don't want to lose. I saw that in 2009 when I was doing Hannity's Great American panel. Mm-hmm. And I'd sit on the panel, and I remember saying to Sean one night that I wanted to bring up something about, it was a Muslim subject, about the Muslims. And he just shook his head, and he said, no, we can't. And I said, what? He goes, no. And he pointed his finger in the air, like up above the next floor up or something, the powers that be. Wow. And he said, no, can't go there.
Wow.
So that even back then, which was when Obama first got in, you were censored even then.
Yeah.
So it's just now it's out in the open.
I'm surprised Tucker Carlson has as much freedom as he does, because even Fox News is becoming more and more liberal over time.
Yeah, I think the reason is he's a powerhouse there, and a lot of viewers, they were bleeding viewers after the election. Yeah. And I think that Tucker's one of the reasons people come back, because they really like what he says. Yeah.
Well, it's been another good episode of the PTZ. Don't lose heart, though, folks. All is not lost. We do have a midterm elections coming up in 2022. We'll have to talk about that sometime in one of our future podcasts. But God, as we always say, God is in control. This is not just a political war we're in, where it's a spiritual war. We will win in the end. So don't lose heart.
No, and don't lose heart. And there is a lesson to be learned in this. This is happening for a reason. It's happening for a reason. We are to learn something or wake up somehow, right?
Right. I agree. Well, once again, this has been John Baldwin, and I've been here with
Morgan Brittany.
And we'll see you next time on the PTZ.
God bless America.